Welcome to Labadee, Royal Caribbean's private destination. Today I'm going to be giving you a quick tour of all of the must-see parts of this beautiful port. Hey y'all, it's Abby. It's a pretty short walk to the beginning of your vacation. You're going to find a great photo opportunity with a beautiful sign and a logo store and some of the check-ins for some of the amazing activities that you can participate in. If you don't want to do any of that though, there are some free options. Let's take a look. First, we're gonna start on this beautiful walking trail. This is gonna take you to a few photo spots, but you're also gonna see one of the zip lines. Yes, there are two in this port. Definitely make sure you have some good walking shoes for this trail. This is such a sweet spot, my goodness. I mean, you kind of have the trees here, but it's just nice to look out from. That's what I like about trails. You find hidden gems like this. Plus, you can use these shady trails to get to some of the other beaches. And you can take a left, or you can go right for another spot. More nature trails. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll go back real quick. There is a little shortcut back to what I would call the main part of Labadee. You see one of those zip lines. You're gonna find the Dragon's Cafe, you're gonna find the information center, all of the really fun parts about the port. You're also gonna find the Barefoot Beach check-in. That's really important. That is like the private beach that you do have to pay for. The buffet here is all complimentary, so you don't even have to pay for anything extra. So that was the path we just took. We went here, made a little photo op, and back it around. Then we have this side too. That will probably go up. And we'll go all the way through. Let's go along what I would call the main beach. This is the longest, biggest beach in Labadee. You actually have two sides of Labadee, so you're gonna have a lot of space. And honestly, I don't really find it to be that busy. Here is the second zip line. So yeah, you thought the first zip line was cool. Y'all, this is even cooler. You were literally on a zip line going over the ocean. How much more fun could it get? Now, of course, that activity is unfortunately not complimentary and you are required to have closed-toed shoes. But there is a Dragon's Breath flight line, a ticket booth, and check-in along the beach. You are going to find trams, so it's a little bit easier to get around. They are gonna take you all the way to like the marketplace and whatnot, so especially after a hot day, it's really nice to have. They have a lot of live music, they have sidewalks if the sand is a little too difficult for you. I actually really think that it's not so bad, but of course, sometimes you just don't want sand in your feet. You're gonna have some nice grassy spots. I do find shade to be a little hard to find here in Labadee, but this section right here really helps with that. And you're gonna find even a coffee bar, but lots of different bars scattered throughout, so that way you can just sit back, relax, enjoy the views. And besides the restrooms, you will find some showers, which makes it super convenient to be able to just, rinse off all the sand and whatnot. Now, we do have Barefoot Beach. This is the private beach that I had mentioned earlier. I've actually tried it. I tried it in 2022 and I absolutely loved it. It does have its own private buffet as well, so if that's something you're interested in, I would definitely check it out. But you do have plenty of other complimentary beaches. So we're halfway there. So now we're here. But the fun does not stop there. We're actually going to go check out the other beaches, plus Columbus Beach, which I had actually never even looked at before when I came here previously. And it actually looks like a lot of fun. It is possibly actually worth the walk or tram ride. Now, as we saw, there's also a lot of little activities. I mean, you have like kayaks here and whatnot. And we did see some land-based stuff like beach volleyball, which, is always a good time. I would say make sure to pack plenty of sunscreen. I like this little beach right here. It looks like so much fun. Plus, there were actually a lot of seats available. It looked a little busy, but outside. There are seats, there's umbrellas, and a shade actually, which I think is even better. Plus, you don't have to walk all the way back to get food. There's some locations here for you. So this trail takes you, I'm pretty sure that was the market. I'm not going to the market because I am sailing by myself. I do not feel comfortable going to the market by myself. I love and support the amazing artists of all the countries I visit. I have plenty of artwork and gifts, you know, from everywhere. But I think of all the places I've been to, that market is probably where I feel the least confident. Let's just say, think of it as you're going into a car dealership with a bunch of salesmen all trying to sell at you at once. I didn't even leave the trail and someone came up to me. I immediately turned around. I personally only recommend going to the market if you're with a lot of other people that you know, and you feel confident in yourself to be able to navigate that situation and be able to say no. And then go for it, but that is, at least right now, not me. Don't worry, there actually is like a smaller market that we'll see that I feel a little bit more comfortable with that I'll show you. Anyways, this is Nelly's beach. Like I said, I actually really didn't know a whole lot about this area. I usually just stick to Barefoot Beach or just walk around for a little bit, but you have cabanas over here, which I think is pretty cool. I think Nelly's beach is a little bit more active than Barefoot Beach. Barefoot Beach is a little bit more laid back, just a little bit more of a refined experience, as they say. Now we have a little bit of a walking path with another awesome viewpoint, by the way, and this path will take you to the Columbus area, and we're gonna find the slide, which is pretty cool. It goes over these rocks and whatnot, and this is less shade, but it is a short path, so it's a little bit more tolerable. Now this is Columbus Cove, and you're gonna find a bunch of venues here too, so you don't have to go all the way back to the beginning. You're gonna find some kiosks to be able to get your adventure started and whatnot, food, bars, everything you need. You would think that the closer to the beginning of the port, the busier, but a lot of people actually make their way here to Columbus Cove. So it's gonna actually have a little bit of mix of quiet spots like here in the eating areas and whatnot, and then a little bit more hustle and bustle with the beaches. I actually really like this. I'm surprised I've never been to this area before. Now, over here, I did mention you will see some of like the smaller little markets. There are some little stands here if you want to get a little bit of shopping done. So I ended up walking through the beach, through some of the market. There's a path there with more shops and whatnot. I'm not walking on that little path right there. You'll find it. If you want to find it, it's right there next to Columbus Beach Bar. Take that little path. Head that way as if you're going to like that eatery. We also have a few more spots to check out. We have this kids play area, so if you have some of the young family members who want to splash around, you have this really cool spot for them to just have a little bit of them time. So we have a map. So we just actually came from here, and remember how I said there's a bunch of shops here I didn't feel comfortable going through? So I skipped all of that and decided to go back through the trail in which I came from. So basically, this was the trail by the water slide we saw, came back here, and I like cut through here. So we're here. So this is part of the artisan village, like the markets. So that's why I didn't go through there. And we'll see, actually, this is like the main market area where I'm not comfortable with either. So what I'm gonna do, instead of going through this way to get up here, I'm gonna go up and around here. Since there's bars and stuff, I should be able to get there. And then we'll go back and do the rest of the trails. So I see so many empty chairs over here. So the theory of the further you go out, the quieter it is, might really hold true, especially for this big main beach. And again, you have another buffet area. So with this being a little bit of a quieter spot, it might be a good place to hang out. There's a lot of grab and go too, so I just grabbed a banana. It's a great energy source, especially for the beach. But they have a wide array of food options at all of the buffets. Plus, of course, you're gonna have the bars. We have some swings in the beach, which I think is pretty cool. And you'll see kind of in the distance, there is a swim up bar, which is pretty cool. We made it here. We have the floating bar and everything there. So definitely pretty cool. Lots of really cool things going on here. So we see on the map, we're gonna be heading to Adrenaline Beach, which is a little bit more quieter. And we have some day beds that you can check out. Now, we saw a little entrance to something. We saw that little staircase. You know what that is? It's actually a coaster, which I've never tried before. So if you go to Labadee, I think you gotta try the coaster as well as the zip line over the beach. Those seem like such fun activities. Here we have the other nature trail. So let's go take a look. Now we are going all the way to the left side of the map, and I think this is actually pretty unique. You have this little bar hangout up here right next to the buffet we saw all the way at the beginning, and it was actually a little bit quieter than I thought it would be. There are honestly some really good views on this side of Labadee where you can get some really good photos of the ship and the beach. Absolutely worth photo opportunity right here. Look at that. I bet most people don't have this photo. Right. Look at that. Coolest photo opportunity ever. See, that's the thing about hidden gems. If you just explore, you're gonna find so much more. Overall, Labadee is a port that you just don't want to miss. It is like a perfect balance of beautiful beaches plus activities, and it's not too overwhelming in size. I think it's certainly one of Royal Caribbean's best ports. I mean, well, you're really just comparing Labadee and Coco Cay. I personally really like Labadee. It's just so beautiful. Now, it really is unfortunate because of all of the civil unrest going on that currently, as of 2026, Royal Caribbean is not actually visiting Labadee right now, but I do hope in the near future they go back. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful and informative for you. If it was, make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things cruising. Thank you to all the Patreon and YouTube members who support the channel, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bon voyage!